Writing is a way of encapsulating an experience. Getting that experience feeds into you and boom, you explode out with something. We've got a wonderful place here because it's an absolute beautiful haven of artistic elements that are chaotically presented. When I go down to the coastline, I've got the tidal areas, and there you've got hundreds and hundreds of life forms who all exist when the sea's rolling over them 4 times a day. It's very instinctual when I'm down there, and it can take a while before I get my eye in because it's a different world, and you've got to be able to see it for what it is, what's happening there. That takes a while. But on the other hand, with the camera itself is another phenomenon, and you've got to find a way of experimenting with what that camera is capable of. And I often use the panoramic function to experiment with that. Visuals don't work with a clear language. The visual language to me is much vaguer, much intuitive, whereas the written language is much more precise. Writing is a way of capturing emotional states. The hardest part is the imagination, is imagining the scene and being there. Because you've got to write as if you are there, you've got to live it. Dialogue's just a wonderful thing because you're looking for a tone and a spirit and what's going on between 2 people. And then you find yourself in territory and themes that you don't expect. And that keeps me surprised. My artist in residence was a making stories workshop at Corrimal Library. I like teaching people to write or to engage with art because they can write what they want to write, how they want to write, say what they want to say. They don't have to please anyone. So in a sense, the amateur is the best artist of all. I thought I'd start with 50-word stories. That meant they considered each word. They still had to look very carefully at each sentence. Pieces themselves which were written quite large and by hand. And then we came and to do 100-word stories. And I had people who were not particularly literary. 1 or 2 could barely write in English, in fact, and some were distinctly talented. And we had to bring them together to come up with these stories. That was truly quite thrilling to come up with something as good as this, and it is now in every Illawarra library. I've got this technique called anarchic rhyme, which means I can start off with nothing and not quite know what I'm going to do, and I'll finish up with an image. And anarchic rhyme is how I do all my work. The art itself, the making of art, is such a joy. I think I found wonder in the bush at the age of 10, 12 and have been amazed ever since. So it's like that, you discover it as you go and you embrace it and say, let's see where this goes. So it's probably a result of me wandering into the bush and not knowing where the bush path is going and being absolutely delighted about where I finish up and what the experience was. What more do I need? And for better or worse, I write and paint like that.